You're listening to Ambitious AF, a podcast that will help you level up, find positivity, and put yourself on top right now and every day for the rest of your life. I'm your host, Caroline Lewis, and each week I will bring you a guest or thought that will motivate you to get out of bed every morning with the willingness to succeed. Being ambitious means you are proud of who you are and everything you've accomplished. Only you can make that happen, though. But with the help of this podcast, you will rise to the top. You will find success. You will believe in yourself and manifest happiness. And most importantly, you will become ambitious AF. I know you are eager to begin, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday episode here on Ambitious AF. I'm super excited to bring you all another guest here on the show. So soon we will be talking to Emma Donnelly, and she is once again over from the UK. So I love her accent, which you guys are going to love as well. And we're just going to kind of dive into it. She is a social media manager, and she is a newer entrepreneur. So we're just going to talk about, that entrepreneurial journey, how she got started, things that motivated or inspired her, and kind of go from there. So Emma, welcome to the show. And please tell everyone a little bit more about who you are and kind of how you got started.
Hi, Caroline. Oh, thanks so much for having me. Basically, I set up my business back in June 2020, in the middle of the global pandemic. But prior to that, before COVID even happened, I was looking into setting up my own business, sort of the end of 2019. And I came across Carrie Green on YouTube and watched a lot of her videos, and it really inspired me. I thought, someone like her can set up a business and do really well from it. Mm-hmm. She's, 7 years in now and doing absolutely amazing. I thought, why not just give it a shot? So an opportunity came my way through where I worked at the time. So I used to work in a call centre, and I worked there full time. And I'd been there for a long time, and it just felt like I wanted something more from life and from work-life balance and all that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I kind of thought, well, what can I do to make it better? Mm-hmm. So I looked into business options, and I found a VA business that was doing really well, and I thought, oh, this is something that actually I can do. So I researched into that, and then over time, like I said, it got to June and I was ready to launch. So I then found my first client, and that was through a website called Fiverr, which at the time I didn't really know much about, but I thought, I'll give it a shot and just see what happens. So she got in touch with me through there. And since then, we've actually been working with each other ever since. So it's been a long-term sort of relationship that we've had. And a lot of my clients I've actually kept from the beginning when we first started working together, which is a really great thing to have, that type of relationship where your clients are staying with you long-term. Because that was one of my fears, I think, when I set up my business, is that sort of rigmarole of having to keep hustling for clients all the time, because you only work part-time projects, and I didn't want to have that. I wanted to be a social media manager for people that actually is a long-term commitment and someone that I can actually help their business to grow over time. And for me, that's so much more beneficial than just working with someone part-time. Yeah, so that's how I got into the whole VA world, really.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I use Fiverr. I actually just submitted something on Fiverr the other day. So for everyone who doesn't know Fiverr, it's an amazing freelance platform. So you can literally everything that imaginable that you need help with, you could just type a little keyword in, and it brings up tons of different services. And the people there, you can get high ratings and everything like that. So it's a really, really cool platform to kind of initially connect with potential clients. And then, like you were saying, from there, kind of take that even a step further. So coming from more of the job life background and then switching into owning your own business. And I'm sure it was a little bit frightening, or maybe you've had some insecurities or anything like that. But if you want to talk about kind of that process, that thought process, and then how you overcame some of these things. And I mean, we still have insecurities all the time, right? I'm not everyone listening. It's, you're constantly learning and you're constantly evolving, but that first initial shock of
oh my gosh, I'm a business owner. Kind of walk them through a little bit more of like your thought process around that.
Oh yeah, totally. It is a different world being a business owner. You go from being in a full-time job where, at the end of every month you get a paycheck and that's how much you're going to get paid. And you have that comfort blanket almost that when you go to work, at the end of the month, this money's going to be coming in. And then when you switch to being a business owner, it's a completely different ball game because, if you don't have clients, you don't have any money coming in. So that you need to make it work. And I think it pushes you that little bit harder to actually really focus on marketing your business and making sure that you're getting your name out there, you're connecting with people, you're collaborating with people, you're networking. All of that is something that you learn as you go on the journey. And it's something that you have to do. You can't avoid that because, like I say, without having your clients, you've got no money coming into your business. And that's what is your bread and butter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is something that absolutely scared me. I was petrified of the thought of doing this and then leaving my job with that security and then going into a whole new world where I didn't know what the future held, especially when through the last year, 2020, you've got the COVID pandemic that's happened. The world's kind of all upside down as it is. And then that worry of, is there actually going to be anyone that wants to hire me? Is there anyone that's actually going to have the money there and the business there to actually want to work with me? And the actual fact is that, yes, there is. And there's a lot of businesses that did take their businesses online through that last year, where before they might not have actually been online, but because of the circumstances of the pandemic, they've had to move their business online because there was no other option for them. They've had to close their premises or they've had to stop, selling what they sell. So at the end of the day, there is actually businesses out there that do need online support and help with their social media. And that actually really helped me in a way. So although obviously the pandemic was really bad and everything that's happened as a result of it is awful, there are opportunities in that for business owners to actually, support small businesses and help them get back on their feet again. And that's still the case now, even moving into 2021. There's still small businesses out there that still need that support to keep their business running in the background because I'm not sure what it's like at the moment in America, but here we're still kind of, we're not completely out of lockdown as such. We're still very much, all wearing face masks. We have to social distance, all that type of thing. And it's only very recently that shops have been able to reopen again after such a long time, if they've been able to survive the pandemic. So, there's very much a need for online VAs and social media managers to support those small businesses through this time. It's been a really eye-opening time for me, but I really enjoy what I do.
No, it's crazy. A lot of people started and kind of because they had to start businesses once COVID hit. And I think a lot of people, it was like a perfect time to just kind of like sit and think and reflect on what do I really want to do. I don't have a job, or maybe I'm working from home and maybe I got my hours cut back from my 9 to 5. So they've had this time to really process what do I want to do. And then from that, blossomed a lot of new business owners and entrepreneurs and stuff. But it is so hard to start any business in a pandemic, even though the online space definitely took off. There's always ups and downs. And that's one thing in this entrepreneurial life that a lot of people, because I think thanks to social media and things that we see online, it's all glitters and glam type of deal. But behind the scenes, it's not, because, especially as the CEO, so the founders of our businesses, there are so many ups and downs. And did anyone predict a pandemic? No. And there's a lot of businesses that had to make really, really, really fast changes to move online. And then unfortunately, there's some of the businesses out there that weren't able to sustain themselves throughout this pandemic. So it's so crazy that you could technically wake up tomorrow and have everything gone. It's definitely a risky industry, but you, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you're not really even thinking much of the risk because you love doing it so much, right? It's you going from, starting your business, COVID hits, and realizing that, yes, there is a lack of online business management and stuff like that. And as people like move into more of the social media world, I can help that. I'm going to go, break into that niche. But it's also like, are people going to hire me? Are they going to spend the money? Like there's so many ups and downs, but you have that passion to keep going for it. And if you have that passion and positivity, there's not too much that's going to be able to stand in your way, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you've got to really have that fire in your belly to want to carry on and be really resilient throughout it all, because, there are going to be days where you just think, what am I doing? How am I going to get through this next week, let alone today? Because things happen and, circumstances change. The clients may, lose their businesses or have to close down. And, that's just part and parcel of what happens when you're working for yourself as a business owner. Unfortunately, those things do happen. But then there's always opportunities around the corner. So I always find that when one door closes, another one opens. And I know that's really cliche to say that, but it's very true. So true. It does always happen that way. So, you can spend days dwelling on the fact that you've lost a client or, something's happened and you've had to end that relationship with them. But then the next day you'll get an inquiry come in and it's actually one of your dream clients. So it actually means that you can work with someone that you're really happy with and you really want to work for as a result of that other relationship coming to an end. So otherwise you wouldn't have been able to do that had that door not closed. So it's kind of, when you look back and reflect on it all, it does actually all kind of make sense. But at the time, it doesn't feel like that. Yeah. At the time, it feels like your world's over and it's like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
It's all of that sort of fear and, what do I do next? How am I going to move forward from this? But actually, over time, when you do look back and reflect on it, it actually happens for a reason. I'm a massive believer in that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And that's kind of what's got me through to, I'm about to celebrate my first year in business tomorrow. So it's my 12-month anniversary tomorrow, 1st of June. So really, really excited for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. That I did not even know that. That's so exciting. Yeah, those first year anniversaries are so much fun. So you definitely have to do something nice for yourself because it's hard. And especially like that first year, because I mean, you can even be like Tony Robbins and you're still sometimes going to be like, am I doing this right? Am I putting out enough content for my audience? Like, am I, you still have all those questions, but in your first year, it's a lot of like that make or break mentality, because it is one of the hardest years, if not the hardest years as a business owner, just starting from scratch. And then you're always like, I mean, I could just go back to that 9 to 5, like, oh, I don't know. What am I doing? I mean, it's crazy because I don't even remember when I hit because I've only actually had mine I started like November of 2019. So it'll be like a year and a half coming up. And I remember hitting my year mark and being like, wow, that went really, really fast. And all of those lessons and things that you invest in that weren't worth it, or things that you invested that were awesome. And like, I don't know, it's a great time to reflect. But then even then I hit like huge strides in my business, things that I wasn't even really expecting to hit. But then all of a sudden, like 2021 comes, and I remember in February, like looking at my boyfriend and being like, oh my God, it's such a bad sales month. Like there's fewer days this month. I didn't get any new clients. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And he's just like, I mean, you're not going to have good months every single time, Caroline. Like you have to chill. Think of everything that you created. And just like you were saying, it was like that little insecurity, little bit of like imposter syndrome in a way. And then all of a sudden that like click into reality, like, no, I got this, I can do this. And then another new door opens. So everyone's going to have those thoughts, right? And you can be multimillionaires and still have those thoughts, but just understand that when things close, you will have more opportunities open, right? And it's good to like, let like your emotions come out and feel, if you're feeling sad or down or anything like that, it's good to feel those things. Like, especially, I mean, and maybe some of you are like, that's crazy coming from me, because on these podcasts, right, I'm like so energetic and positive and I push it, but we're all humans and you have to allow yourself to have those bad days, emotional days, negative days. But you just have to keep pushing forward. And that's that passion and that drive, like you said, in your belly, like that fire in your belly. That's what keeps pushing you forward. And not allowing any of those bad things to truly, truly get you down and like ruin your life and your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. You just have to go with the flow sometimes. And it is really, really scary, especially when you're new to this whole world of being either a freelancer or a business owner, VA, whatever it is you do for your business. It is going to have ups and downs. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that you take on a lot of responsibility for that yourself. Like you are your kind of business. So, it all depends on you. So you do have that kind of extra urge inside yourself to make it work, because when you're working for a company or when you're working for, a different business, it's not always that same kind of level of responsibility that you have. But when it's your own business and, it's kind of, I really want to make this work. I know that I can, and I know that I'm good enough, but it's just when things happen out of the blue that you have no control over, and you can then just be thrown for six and think, oh, I thought I had everything planned out. I knew what I was doing, and then suddenly it will knock you back, and then you'll just think, oh, back to square one again. But you will get past that, and like you say, when one door closes, another one will then open for you. But you just have to have faith in the process that it will work out.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I was just about to ask you, like, what are those advice that you would give, like, even if you were talking to your friend and he or she was interested in starting their own business, like, what is that one piece of advice that you normally give people or tell people?
Yeah, like I say, for me, it is always just trust in the process, even though you can't see what the end goal is going to look like right now. I mean, no one can predict the future, no matter what happens. Like you said before, the pandemic, no one saw that happening. That came completely out of the blue. But, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen no matter what. So instead of kind of holding yourself back and stopping yourself because you think, oh, it's all going to go wrong, what if it actually goes right, and what if actually you can make it a success? And that's kind of the mindset I've tried to adopt throughout it all, even when I have those days and I do feel a bit like on a wobble. What am I doing? Why did I decide to set up a business? You do have those days, and it's completely normal to have those days, because I think on social media, like you say, it's all very much, unicorns and rainbows and everything's going really well. And you can compare yourself to other business owners that are in the same industry as you, and you think, oh, they're doing so well, like they're doing amazing, I'm nowhere near the level that they're at. But actually behind the scenes, it can be a totally different story. So just always remember that it's completely normal to feel like on days where you've had an off day, or you've lost a client, or something's gone wrong, where you're in your business and it's like, oh, everything's going wrong today. Just remember that it won't be like that forever. You are going to have days like that, but then the next week something amazing could happen. It's just having that belief that is still going to happen in the future.
And I sometimes because I'm like a big universal believer, like, everything has a purpose and comes and goes in your life for a reason. And if it were easy, everyone would do it. And as we adapt, and as we work on ourselves, and even like the most positive, influential, happy, like those type of people, you can't continue through life exactly that way. And that's not really how life is supposed to be lived, right? Like you're going to witness deaths, and you're going to witness births. You're going to lose friends, and you're going to make amazing ones. You're going to get married or not, like you're going to have kids or not. Like there's all of these things. And it's kind of, like I think like the universe comes in and whoever you're believing in, he or she, but they're kind of coming and they're looking at you like, oh yeah, you're killing it this month, but like we need to spice it up. Like you cannot go into this little comfort bubble. You can't be living like this every single, every day for the rest of your life. Like we got to spice it up. And then something happens, like something changes. And as humans, we don't like change. And as entrepreneurs, we've got to get really used to change. And I think that's kind of what makes and breaks a lot of new business owners, is being used to that change. But even like people that have a corporate 9-to-5 job and 9-to-5 lifestyle, like we don't like change. We like everything being in order, but it's not supposed to be in order, right? Because like you're supposed to just like pick pick things up and just like do, like on the whim. Like even when you're planning vacations, you don't go to the same vacation every single year for like 100 years, right? You're gonna switch it up, or you're not gonna eat the same dish every single day for the rest of your life. You're gonna switch it up. So switching it up and like breaking out of your comfort zone. And I think that's kind of why people look at entrepreneurs like we're psycho, because we're always doing like all these crazy different things. But it's really just like breaking out of our comfort zone and trying something new because we want to try something new. We want to give it a shot, because if not, then we're not even really trying, and we don't even know if it will or will not hit until you get out there and get going. And that's even for new entrepreneurs. Like if you are even thinking something small, then you can do something as simple as go on Fiverr and try to get a couple of Fiverr gigs as a freelancer in whatever industry that you want to go, right? But you're at least starting something, right? It's so bad to just sit there and not do anything. And I even had I had an episode, I think I called it something around like no more dreams, or we're not dreamers, we're doers, something like that. Because if you just keep dreaming of things, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want a better body, I want children, I want to get married, I want to find love, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and you just keep dreaming of these things and not taking that first step and doing them, you'll never get them. And so that was kind of a little bit of a ramble in a way. But yeah, it's like, it's coming back to you and everyone that comes on these episodes, and I'm hoping everyone that listens as well hears from all of these inspiring ladies and says like they just did it, because you all did it. And every time I ask everyone like what's your piece of advice, or what is it that you did to keep going, and it's like I just did it. I put that step forward, I took a chance, and I kept after it, and I love that. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, like I say, you are completely right. You just have to start, because the more you put it off, like you say, you just will never do it. You just will end up having it as a kind of pipe dream that you always want to do, but actually you never get around to doing it. But the day that you actually put yourself out there and start looking for clients, and like you say, for me, I started out on a Fiverr website just to see how I could find clients, because I didn't know what I was doing at that point. I was new to business, didn't know how to find clients and all that type of thing. And obviously over time, I've kind of gradually grown my audience online and done it all through Instagram, Facebook, and social media websites. I still don't actually have my own website for my business because I've not needed one. So I think another thing that holds a lot of people back is the tech side of things, like I wouldn't know where to start having a website, and I can't be a business owner without having a website. That's absolutely not the case. Like I say, I've been running my business for 12 months now. I don't have a website for my business, but I still have consistent income coming in. I've got regular clients that I work with on a regular basis, and it's not a necessity to have a degree in business to be able to be a business owner. So all of those type of things, that if anyone's listening and they think, oh, well, she must have this or that, it's not the case. Like say, I just literally got myself online, set up my social media pages, learned from other VAs, connected with people, collaborated with people, and got involved in as many Facebook groups as I could to find out more about the industry, meet new people. In there, found opportunities to work for people and clients, and it just kind of snowballs from there. But like you say, it doesn't start until you actually put yourself out there and actually make that decision that you are going to do it. And even if you just do it as a bit of a side hustle for now while you're still working, if you're not sure if you're 100% into it, at least then you can get a taste for what it's like. A lot of VAs that I know started off as it being a side hustle because it became so successful, their business, they actually could quit their job because they were making much more money in their business compared to what they were making in their full-time jobs. So it didn't make sense for them to carry on working 48 hours a day like on their business, because at the end of the day they were making more money in the business. So they left their jobs, and that's very common in the VA industry. So don't ever think that your situation stops you from doing that, because you might still need to carry on working for now, but you could always just do it for an hour or two a week to start with and just see how it grows. You just never know.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, because you hit it right on the head. That was awesome. And so one more question before we kind of start wrapping up, because I love this question, so I'm excited for your response. But when it comes to kind of describing yourself, well, I'm hoping you describe yourself as being ambitious, but because I can definitely tell you're ambitious. But when you talk to people about having ambition, or you use that word, right, what does that really mean to you?
Yeah, so for me, I think it's just having that desire to do well at what you love to do. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's kind of not just focusing on having the best career or having, the most paid salary. It's about waking up in the morning and feeling like, I actually love what I do. This is the right, you feel like you're in the right sort of job, what you want to do. You don't feel that dread when you wake up in the morning and thinking, I've got to go to work. It doesn't feel like that when you're doing what you actually really want to do. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's all about finding what you love, and also being resilient, like I said before, with all the ups and downs that come with being an entrepreneur. Just kind of finding your way through that, and it's something you learn as you go along. So the very first few hurdles that you get to are going to feel absolutely horrific, mm-hmm. because you've never dealt with these feelings before, and you've never had to deal with them on your own as well. One of the worst things about being a business owner is that it can be quite lonely. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you've built your network around you and you've got people in that network that can support you through those times, absolutely. And people that have been in the same position as you, then actually you can rely on those to give you, the kind of support that you need to think, actually, I recognize that it's not just me that this happens to, it happens mm-hmm. to other people as well. And you can learn to grow past it and learn from your mistakes as well. So if you do make a mistake, which you're bound to do, because, we're all new here, mm-hmm. Then basically don't feel like, I've made a mistake, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. Think about why it's gone wrong and actually what you can do to fix it next time so that doesn't happen again. And that's kind of a mindset thing that I've learned over time. And I definitely, when I first started, I didn't have that same sort of mindset because I was kind of overwhelmed with everything I had to learn. There were so many systems, there were so many routes and opportunities to find clients, and it's like all these different processes, and you do feel very much overwhelmed by how to spend your time, how to project manage what you're doing for your business, making sure you're setting time aside for your business itself. So actually working on your business as well as your clients' work. So it is a big minefield, and it does feel really overwhelming, but just remember that you have to just work hard and you will get there. Mm-hmm. It is just a case of having faith in the process.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. And nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens overnight. It's some of the people that I follow. Actually, Maria Went is one of the girls that I really look up to, because I think she's similar age, and kind of similar business as well. And she just hit $1 million in revenue, and she's had her business for 7 years. And, like little things like that, like depending on how success is for you, you would never think that she just hit $1 million and had a business for 7 years, right? Because what you perceive online, it's like, oh my God, she must be making bank because like of what she posts and all this kind of stuff. She's a really real person though. So she likes to like tell everyone the real raw truth of just entrepreneurship. But even me, like knowing that I shouldn't read into these things and stuff. And then when I saw that she just hit $1 million after 7 years, it's like nothing happens overnight. And that's what makes it like so like harder, but also more enjoyable, because when you do hit those figures that you want, whatever that success is, it is like the most magical. You'll remember that day until you die. Like it's the coolest thing. Like you going on a year anniversary of your business, you will remember this for the rest of your life. Your first client, paying client, you will remember them for the rest of your life. It's like those little incremental things, and they're just so important to just celebrate and take time to appreciate as well. But it's nothing happens overnight. And if you think, oh, I should be making $1 million, or I should be making this much, or I should be doing this much, like just come back to reality and remind yourself why you're doing this, and just keep pushing forward, my friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, alrighty. Well, Thank you so much. So we are about 30 minutes in, but before we close off, please, because I do think I have, now the only downside with podcasting is I don't know specifics on my audience, but I'm assuming I have a good bit of new entrepreneurs and stuff who I think would really, really enjoy talking with you. So where is the best platform to reach you, send you a message, send you an email, whatever that is? Please make sure everyone knows what that is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I'm mainly hanging out on Instagram, so you can find me at my handle, which is at Ask Emma Social, and that's just all one word. I'm also on Facebook as well. Again, Ask Emma Social. If you search for that, it should come up with my business page. And my email is info@askem.co.uk. So if you do want to get in touch, just drop me an email.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, and we've connected over Instagram as well. So power of social media. I love it. And it's so true when you said like, find your network, because entrepreneur life, just life in general, can be lonely. So find that network. And if you are new business owners, definitely please reach out to Emma. Let her know that you listened to this episode and you want to either just learn more about her or learn more about her business or whatever it is. Just send her a voice note and definitely communicate. So Emma, thank you again for coming on. And I think that will wrap it up. So everyone tuning in, we will talk to you all next week. See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you got some value or just feel fired up, I would love for you to take a screenshot and tag me in your Instagram stories. It's always so motivating to see you getting the inspiration you needed to level up for my podcast. I'm going to keep showing up and bringing my best self to these episodes, and I encourage you to do the same. If you think a friend or family member would enjoy this episode, I would love for you to share the ambition. I can't wait to chat next week, but until then, keep being ambitious AF.